great win by our guys. These two guys played terrific. Really appreciate the crowd we had. The atmosphere was really strong, and it was great on Alumni Weekend to have that many alumni back. We talked about having a shared experience with these guys, and it was good for them to be able to see us compete at that level. I thought we really set the tone at the end of the first half. It was a timeout with about 4 minutes left, right around the media, and we had an 8 or 9-0 run to end the half, and had a couple good looks. We missed actually too. That set a tone for halftime discussion where it's like, this is what we need to do. And I thought we valued the ball at a fairly high level. I thought we kept it really simple on the defensive end, and just played really, really solid. And I thought we made plays. These guys both made plays, and really had a strong second half showing.
Cade, I was the one that asked for you to be brought in here. Those inside, you had 5 assists, and getting an opportunity to get people inside, Brandon in particular. I mean, that opened up the game. They just couldn't defend. Those are iffy passes at times, but you were on point, and then you hit a couple big threes as well. Talk a little bit about, your ability to do that.
Yeah. Well, Brandon and Jackson are great at stealing, so they make it a lot easier. We have a lot of guys who can stretch the court, so they got to stay tight to them, so throwing it over the top, it's kind of like a shot. You just lob it over. And I trust him to go get the ball. He's a freak, and he always does, so I just throw it to him and trust it.
All right, so Harvard also appeared pretty defensively strong and had a super physical presence, so I'm just curious about, strategies for approaching that and kind of combating that physical presence.
Yeah, I think one is just taking care of the basketball. They play, like you said, a physical presence. They try to slow you down in reversals. They try to slow you down in entries. And I thought we just kept the floor spread and valued the basketball in the second half. We had 8 turnovers at halftime, 5, I think, and 4 or 5 in the second half. But when you have turnovers, it allows them to get out in transition. When you take care of the ball, you get the good shots. It allowed us to defend in the half court.
Thank you.
I don't know if Cade or Brandon just wants to describe when that run is going on in the second half. Just can you soak that in a little bit, because you guys have been here a while. What's going on when all that's kind of, or does it happen so fast you didn't realize what the heck's going on?
I think it's just a buildup of a lot of things. I know we preach being solid on defense, and that's what really made that run go. Getting turnovers, getting defensive rebounds, and being able to push and then hit big shots. We weren't hitting at first, but we were getting the shots we wanted, and we knew they were going to fall eventually. And when they do fall, the game changes completely.
Speaking about, you want to answer too? Or?
I think he touched on that perfectly.
Speaking about that, today, opening the game in the first half, I thought the defensive game plan seemed to be put together real well. But unfortunately, some big green didn't follow it to perfection, giving a lot of turnovers, allowing fast break points. And as a result, when you could have had a big advantage, your advantage at halftime was small. Talk about, Brandon, and talk about the adjustment that was made possibly, at halftime that got you guys to, be more patient with the ball.
It wasn't really much of an adjustment. It was more of like a mental shift. Going into the game, Coach told us they were going to be physical, and at first we didn't respond to it like we should have. But once we started being more cutthroat with the ball and being stronger, things started to open up and options started to open up, and that's what gave us the edge going into that second half.
This question anyone can answer. Obviously it was a great game, so if anyone has a personal highlight or a highlight of a teammate, love to hear about it.
How about Cade's shot? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, that was cool. It was fun. Stood in the air, went in. It was nice. My highlights were definitely Ryan's threes. Oh, my God. Every time he pulled it, you could tell it was cash, and, Ryan's amazing. And to see him have a game like that, it's awesome.
Just quickly add to Cade, one of the stats I always look at team-wise as well as individually is the assist-to-turnover ratio. You were 5-0. That's got to have you feel good. And in connection with that, the adjustment you've made in the last 2 to 3 games of not just shooting the 3, but taking the ball to the hoop. Where did that come from?
Well, the 5 assists and 0 turnovers, that's huge, I guess. We pride ourselves on not having many turnovers, so to be a part of that's huge. And trying to get to the rim, I don't know. I see these guys do it all the time. I'm like, I got to try it. I got to try it. I'm not as good as them, but they guard me really tight on the three-point line, so it opens it up a little bit for me.
I don't know if you guys, is it too early to take a peek at the standings, or is that dangerous to do? You're now 2 games clear in 4th. Is it dangerous to look at that at this point? Or, I mean, obviously you got to be proud of what you did, but is it dangerous to look too far ahead?
Yeah, I think it's we and I told them we just need to take care of our bodies this weekend, take care of our academics, and be ready for Monday. I think you can get lost in a dark hole real quick either way. And we just need to have a really, really good day on Monday, and that's not just talk. That's the way we've been approaching it.
Brandon, Ryan isn't here, but, I know you're close to him, and he came out today, and I thought I don't remember the last time that he didn't have a stroke at all. I mean, he wasn't following through the way he usually does, and he wasn't, getting involved at all. And then all of a sudden he found it. Talk a little bit about his perseverance in that way.
I mean, it really just comes down to our relationship and our team culture. I think we've built a culture that everyone's ready to step up when they need to, and that if someone isn't doing what they need to, teammates are there to help them and pick them up. Going into that second half, everyone in the locker room was behind him, trusted him. And guys in the first half stepped up when he wasn't being as efficient as he could be. But going to that second half, all of us believed in him, gave him the confidence, and I think he went out there and executed it.
I said on the radio when you early came up with 2 big hoops, I said that, when he gets to the hoop, the whole team plays well. It opens things up, and it was clear today that you were going to be able to do that. Talk a little bit about the feel that you get as you're able to scout out the defense in person and be able to have that advantage.
Yeah, I mean, when you're on a team with as many good shooters as we have, the floor kind of opens up, and me being able to handle the ball at my size and my length, it really makes things a lot easier for me. And then if someone does suck in, I can trust my teammate to be ready for that pass, and that's what happened in the second half, and they made shots.
All right, so this is my last question, but just obviously coming off a win today and then Columbia, last game, how do you guys feel going into this next meetup with Columbia?
Yeah, I think these guys will be ready to go on Monday. I know that they have my belief in that and my trust, and we will approach the week the right way. And they know what's coming up. They know we have a quality opponent on Friday and a quality opponent on Saturday, and we have to continue to defend the home court.
Having said that, my last question, Coach, is that you look at the schedule and you get another back-to-back. And the thing probably, there's been so many impressive things about this team this year, but I think as impressive as any was the win at Columbia, because it was back-to-back. You had that incredible, people don't realize how bad that trip is to go from Cordell to Columbia, and then you seem to have way more effort than they did. And it just, I think it showed how this team digs deep.
Yeah, I agree. That they have a lot of great qualities to them. We still have more in us, which is exciting for me as a coach. I know that. They're ready. They're going to be ready to compete this week.
I guess I'm going to ask one more. What about that crowd? I mean, it was. I mean, I looked over and I saw athletes that have been there in recent years, and it was like the greatest. It looked like it was happening to them. They felt it. They lived it. Just talk about that.
Yeah, it's shared experience, right? So you have, and we talked about in the locker room, we had, I don't know, there must have been 35 alumni in the locker room after, and that's a shared experience. That is the program, right? When you look at it, that's the history of the program, with Coach Foch being here for 20 years as both an assistant and head coach, and having some fantastic teams, right? And have those guys come back, guys that I've coached come back, guys on my staff that I've coached, and in Taurus, and then Jabari being an alum, so having 2 alum on staff. It's just it's bigger than the game sometimes. It's the program, and so what makes this place so special.